questions in English, 5 minutes on the clock, and a native speaking English teacher. Welcome to 5 Minute Friday. Hello and welcome to 5 Minute Friday. My name is Chris and today I will answer your questions that you have left me on my YouTube videos over these last 2 weeks. I'm going to put 5 minutes onto my timer like so, and I will start the questions. I've put them all into this little bag, so let's go to question number 1. And question number 1 is, in your opinion, what is the biggest difference between English and French? Wow, I could talk for much more than 5 minutes on that particular topic, but the biggest difference, I think it would be the grammar. I think the grammar is more difficult in French than in English. If you are learning English, you should really just concentrate on the preterite for the past, the simple past, and the simple future. So the simple future is the future with will. I will go to Paris, he will go to Paris, they will go to Paris, etc. I'd really concentrate on those two. Preterite, that's normally the one with the ed at the end. I looked, I watched, etc. Plus, of course, the irregular verbs. We have those irregular verbs in English, which are a little bit difficult. But yeah, I think that's the biggest difference. The French grammar is more difficult. To be able to get to a stage where you can communicate effectively in English, the grammar is easier, I think. When you want to become a really good level, then yes, you have to learn the present perfect and the past perfect, which are more difficult, but still, I think they are easier than French. Let's go to question number 2. Question number 2. What is the difference with realise with an S and realise with a Z? Well, actually, there is no difference. They are the same word. There's just a different spelling of that word. Unfortunately, there are very small differences between British English and American English. And one of the differences is often the words are spelt a little bit differently. ISE words in English, in British English, realise, compromise, organise, are all spelt with a Z in American English. Realise, compromise, organise, etc. with a Z. But the meaning and the use of the word are exactly the same. Okay, so that's just one of the common differences with British English and with American English. Let's go to the next question, but that was a good one. Thank you for that question. Asking questions is difficult. Okay, that's not really a question, but yes, it's a statement. Yes, it's true. Asking questions can be difficult in English. It's true. When you're starting in English, maybe you learned at school, you learned to answer the questions from your teachers, but you never really learned to ask questions. And asking questions is so important when you are an adult and using English to travel or for business, etc. Asking questions is a very important skill to have. There's a couple of different ways to ask questions, but the easiest is with the verb to be. Are you tired? Are you hungry? Etc. Okay, the verb to be. And when it's not the verb to be, we use an auxiliary verb. And in English, our auxiliary verb is do. Do you like football? Do you play sport? Etc. Okay, so we have the verb do, and then we have the infinitive. Now that's for the present, so that's for a general question. For the past, we simply change the do to did. Did you eat breakfast today? Okay, we're in the past. It's a perfect question in the past. Did you eat breakfast today? Did you watch the film yesterday? Okay, so it's did plus the infinitive. For the future, we could use will. Will you go to Paris next year? Will. So we have will plus the infinitive. Will you come to my party? Okay, so again, quite easy. Oops, there's my 5 minutes. I'll just stop that, but I'll continue with this particular question about questions because they are so important. So they're my basic questions. We have the verb to be, or if we're using a different verb, we use do for the present, did for the past, will for the future. If you then want to make your questions a little bit more interesting, difficult, we need to know the 6 W's. The 6 W's. These particular words, where, why, when, who, which, what, etc. The 6 W's are super, super important. But we use them with the same structure that we used before. If I was in the present, where do you live? Okay, where do you live? If I was in the past, where did you live 10 years ago? Where did you live? Okay, in the future, where will you live? So we can see that same pattern is repeating. It's not too difficult if you can remember that pattern. Remember your auxiliary verb, do, did, and will, and then learn your 6 W words. I remember, I don't know when, but maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I did a video on asking questions, how to improve your question asking skills. I will find the link for that video and I will put it in the description of this video. But unfortunately today that is the end of our 5-Minute Friday. Thanks for all the questions and thanks for watching everyone. Don't forget, if you have questions or comments, leave them in the comments below and I will answer them for you, or I will put them in the bag and I will answer them in our next video. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.